B106 and B106.com. This afternoon from Legion Field in Fort Morgan, it is a doubleheader as the Fort Morgan Mustangs host the Vista Peak Bison. Started here already with 2 balls and 1 strike as Kyle Daniels on the hill for the Mustangs today. Just a little outside on that one. 3 balls and 1 strike to Brandon Martinez. And that is a walk to Martinez to start off this game here. The first pitch of the game is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Looking to find insurance for your car, home, or even for you? Call Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance with 2 locations in Brush and Fort Morgan. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or provide a quote. So Brandon Martinez on for the Bison, and that first pitch to Augustus is a swing and a miss. Nice change up there by Daniels. As he looks in, and they're going to pick him off, it looks like at first, to get him down to second, and they will have the force out at second. Nice job by Daniels as he goes to Marquez, and then two Shirtliff, covering over there for the out. Caught stealing. So that erases the runner at first base. And that pitch is going to be high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike pitched by Daniels. A nice curveball, and that is in there for the strike. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now that ball is going to be inside and low for ball 2. And that is J.J. Augustus. Daniels looks in for the sign, gets it. Now the fastball, and that's going to be looped down the right side and just out of the reach of Marquez in foul territory. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. J.J. Augustus on the year is batting at .360. With only 2 RBIs. That's going to be a swing and a miss. Strike 3 on Augustus. So nice change up there by Kyle Daniels for 2 outs now in the top of the first. That will bring up Sean Paul. Sean Paul is going to be the pitcher today for the Vista Peak Bison, and we will play a doubleheader here today as Fort Morgan will be the home team in this first game, and that is a nice curveball in there once again by Kyle Daniels. No balls and 1 strike to Sean Paul. The windup and another swing and a miss there by Paul. Change up there by Daniels. So Daniels ahead in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Wind up in the kick and the pitch, and that is up and over the head of the batter. Ducks out of the way, so that fastball got away from Daniels, but no harm done. Just a ball now and 2 strikes. The kick and the pitch, and that's going to be fouled up over behind us and out of play. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sean Paul batting .391. On the year with 6 RBIs, and the swing and a miss for strike 3. So 3 up and 3 down here for the Vista Peak Bison. After a half inning, Mustangs will come to bat on B106 and B106.com. Field as Cal Daniels mows down the first 3. Did get a lead-on walk, but then did pick off that lead-off batter for 3 up and 3 down in the top of the first. So the Fort Morgan starting lineup is brought to you by Cargill Beef. Cargill Beef is committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and continuously improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at www.cargill.com. So leading off today for the Mustangs will be Kyle Daniels as the pitcher. Trevor Shirtliff, short, will be at second. McBride catcher is batting third. Jacob Fritzler is in right field batting fourth. Nate Cage is at third base batting fifth. Austin Breidenbach is the DH for Anthony Arroyo. Adrian Marquez is at first batting seventh. And the first pitch here by Paul, that is going to be a strike. In there for the first pitch of the game for Sean Paul. The wind and the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be hit in the hole to right field. So that will be a base hit for Kyle Daniels as he finds the hole between first and second. So that will bring up Trevor Shirtliff now for the Mustangs. Shirtliff on the year is batting at .400. So we'll see what kind of a lead that Daniels will get. Over at first, Paul looks over, now comes to the plate, and that's going to be a high infield fly, it looks like. And out by the shortstop. So one down here now. In the bottom of the first inning, Trey McBride up now to bat, with Kyle Daniels still at first. So one out here, no score yet. And that ball is hit well to left field, but that is going to be caught by the left fielder for out number 2. So now that will bring up Jacob Fritzler. Fritzler on the year is batting at .351 with 12 RBIs. So 2 out now here in the bottom of the first. Still scoreless here as Fritzler comes to the plate. That ball is going to be outside and past the pitcher, or past the catcher, excuse me. That will send Daniels to second base. We will call that a wild pitch. So Kyle Daniels now out at second. So 1 ball and no strikes here to Jacob Fritzler. As Daniels gets a decent lead out there, they keep trying to sneak in behind him, but they're going to go back to their positions. The wind and the kick, and that's going to be hit into right field. We'll see if they send Daniels. They will. And the throw is coming home, and Daniels will be in there. Now Fritzler's going to try to go to second, and he is going to be tagged out at second base for the third out, but the run does count. So after 1 inning, the Fort Morgan Mustangs won, the Vista Peak Bison 0 on B106 and B106.com. The Mustangs take the lead in the bottom of the first. Kyle Daniels getting across the plate on a Jacob Fritzler single to right field, and then Fritzler tried to turn it into a get that extra base as they came home with the play, but cut off by the catcher and then throw it out at second base was Fritzler. But Fort Morgan with the early lead here now as Embry comes to the plate. For Vista Peak. And that pitch is going to be high and outside, ball 1. That next pitch is going to be hit shortly to shortstop, but picked and nicely done out there by Trevor Shirtliff. Yes, he got that slow ground ball and threw out the runner at first. So 1 down here in the top of the second. That brings up Arturo Valenzuela. The kick and the pitch, and that is going to be a little high and outside for ball 1. So Valenzuela is batting at .250, 8 RBIs. The kick and the pitch, and that is going to be a swing and a miss as the ball bounces away from McBride, but no harm done. So in the field today for the Mustangs, McBride behind first, Adrian Marquez at first, Grayson Garver at second. This pitch, and that is going to be hit high to center field, and under it is Anthony Arroyo for the out. So the fly out to Arroyo. Two up, two down now here on the top of the first with the Mustangs up 1-0. And that will bring up Brett Paul. And the pitch, and that is going to be hit past the pitcher out to Shirtliff, and he is going to throw, and it's going to be a out at first base. Nice stretch there by Marquez. So 3 up and 3 down once again here in the top of the first. Mustangs come to bat for the second time here on B106 and B106.com. Back here at Regent Field with the Mustangs up 1-0 as we go into the bottom of the second. The first Fort Morgan score of the game was brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank, a bank that is committed to their community and keeping banking simple. They are on the cutting edge of banking. Stop by 321 Ensign and see what options they have available. Morgan Federal Bank, there is a difference. So first up here for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the second inning is Nate Cage. On deck is Austin Breidenbach. In the hole is Adrian Marquez. Sean Paul looks in with the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be upstairs for ball 1. Cage on the year batting at .381 with 11 RBIs. 2 home runs. And the wind in the pitch, and that is going to be hit out to the second baseman. Trapped there, and they will get him out at first base. So a nice job out there by the second baseman, Brandon Martinez, as he throws out Cage at first. So now up to bat is Austin Breidenbach for his first time up this afternoon. And the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be, they're going to say no, it's going to be a ball. They appealed that to first base. I didn't think Breidenbach even attempted at it. So 1 ball and no strikes here on Austin Breidenbach. And that pitch is going to be in there for strike 1. So Breidenbach on the year is hitting at .400 in 12 games. Has 5 RBIs. And Paul looks in for the sign. Gets the sign. Now the kick and the pitch. And that is going to be inside. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike to Austin Breidenbach. Adrian Marquez on deck. Grayson Garver in the hole. And Sean Paul gets his sign. Now looks in, and the pitch is going to be behind Breidenbach. So I guess you can say that was way inside. He's about 3 or 4 feet behind Breidenbach. It's now 3 balls and 1 strike as Paul delivers, and that looks like that's going to be in there for a strike. Like maybe a high strike, but it was called a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes here with 1 out. Here in the bottom of the second, Mustangs lead at 1-0 over Vista Peak as we are here for a double header. And that is going to be a swing and a miss for the 3rd strike on Breidenbach. So now 2 down as Adrian Marquez comes to the plate. Grayson Garver on deck. Kenny Keller in the hole. And Sean Paul with 14 pitches so far looks in, gets the sign, and that pitch is going to be low and outside. Ball 1 on that fastball. Sean Paul sets. Now the kick and the delivery, and that is going to be inside. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. As Marquez gets set back in the batter's box. Now the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike. 1 ball, or 2 balls and 1 strike. Adrian takes a step out, takes a couple of swings, now steps back in with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. That's a slow curveball, and that is in there for a strike. Nice looking pitch there by Sean Paul. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Adrian Marquez ready now, the pitch, and that is going to be low and outside for ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So here's the payoff pitch for Marquez, as he will be looking for something here to hit. Get it anywhere close to the zone, and that pitch is going to be low and outside, ball 4. So that puts Adrian Marquez on at first with 2 outs. Paul looks, and now they're going to throw back to first, but getting back in under the tag is Adrian Marquez, still safe out at first. So bottom of 2 here, Fort Morgan up 1-0 with 2 outs. Grayson Garver at the plate now. Paul with the delivery, and that is going to be popped up on the infield, and the pitcher is calling for it, and he does get it for the 3rd out. So after 2, the Fort Morgan Mustangs lead at 1-0 on B106 and B106.com. As Daniels so far on the afternoon has thrown 22 total pitches, 9 balls, 13 strikes, and he will be facing Maurice Steele. Steele on the year is batting at .360 with 9 RBIs. Maurice Steele plays in right field today. First pitch is outside for a ball. The kick and the pitch, and that is going to be a nice curveball, but misses apparently outside for ball 2. So 2 balls and no strikes as Kyle Daniels on the hill today, and that pitch is going to be up and out for ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes on Maurice Steele. And that pitch missed somewhere, so that's going to be a 4-pitch walk to Steele. That brings up Ashton Sanborn with Daniel Sanchez on deck and Brandon Martinez in the hole. Sanborn, a right-handed hitter, squares to bunt, and that is going to be a strike. He missed on the bunt attempt, but they were trying to get Steele moved over on the bunt as Cage came charging in from third base. And Daniels came in from the mound, but no balls and 1 strike here on Daniels. Now they're going to, looks like they might get Steele picked off once again, and they're going to throw the ball to see if they can get it to him, and then they're going to throw it away. It's going to be a steal by Steele. Should have had him at first. We're going to call that an error on Marquez on the throw out to second base. So I believe it's no balls and 2 strikes. Well, it was not a pitch, I'm sorry. So that is going to be a bunt attempt, and that will get him. They're going to go to third, and they will get the runner at third. Nice job there by Daniels to get the runner at third. So 1-0 here, Fort Morgan. So Ashton Sanborn now on at first, and with the lead runner erased. Now a pitch is going to be out. Now they're going to try to get the threw right into it, out at second base. Nice job by McBride. Took a couple of hops to get out there. But they got the runner caught stealing. Out at second base. Nice job there. So that will bring up Daniel Sanchez now and that is going to be hit high down the left field line, and under it is Kenny Keller for the out. So a nice job by the Mustangs here in the top of three. The Mustangs will come up to bat next on B106 and B106.com. We'll go back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan as we are set for a doubleheader here this afternoon with Vista Peak, as they will play game number 2 here shortly after the end of this one. This one is now in the bottom of the third. Fort Morgan 1-0 as Kenny Keller steps to the plate. The kick and the pitch, and that is going to be low, ball 1. So Kenny Keller batting at .237, 8 RBIs with 1 double. And Sean Paul looks in, and the pitch, that is going to be in there for a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Kenny Keller. And the wind and the pitch, and that is going to be inside as Keller turned away from it so he wouldn't get hit. Sean Paul with 24 pitches so far, 13 strikes, 11 balls. Sean Paul now with the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be low and in the dirt. So 3 balls and 1 strike to Kenny Keller. Now the kick and the pitch. That is going to be a hard hit ball right by the third baseman. We will give him a single on that one. That's a sharply hit ball just by the third baseman. So Kyle Daniels now up to the plate as Kenny Keller on at first. Kyle Daniels steps in from the left side. Left-handed pitcher, left-handed batter. Looks over at first to Keller. Comes home, and that is going to be inside as they look down to first, but no throw. Low and inside on that fastball. And Sean Paul takes a look over at Keller at first. Keller gets it decently, not too bad. Now the pitch is going to be in low once again for ball 2. Northeastern, live in your world, learn in ours. For more information about Northeastern or classes available to you, go to www.njc.edu. Paul takes a look at first. And the wind and the pitch, and it's going to be a foul ball bunt attempt up the third baseline. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Kyle Daniels. 1 for 1 single his first time up. Steps back in, taps the plate a couple of times with the bat. Sean Paul looks back over at Keller. Now in the stretch, looks in, and the pitch is going to be sharply hit out to the second baseman, but by him. That's a tough play for the second baseman, so we'll give that a single. So now 2 runners on for Trevor Shirtliff. See if they're going to try and bunt him over or if they're going to let him hit away. Trevor Shirtliff is 0 for 1 on a flyout, his first time up today. 1-0 Fort Morgan, bottom of 3, with 2 on and no outs. The pitch, and that's going to be a bunt. Nice bunt out in front of the plate, going to be taken by the pitcher. And safe at first as the pitcher, as the runner went by, knocked the ball out of the hand of the first baseman. And on that, Kenny Keller comes home. So Daniels now out at second base. Now the coach for the Vista Peak is out discussing what happened over there at first. So that makes the score now 2-0. He must have, but his shirtlift went by. He didn't swat at it or anything. He just ran into the guy, went out to tag him, and on the tag attempt, he just got knocked out of his glove. So now runners now at first and second with one in. Still no outs here as Trey McBride comes up 0 for 1 on a fly out, his first time up. So it was a beautiful bunt attempt. Well, a beautiful bunt. It was an excellent job as they threw to first. And then on the play, got the score. Now another bunt by McBride, and they're going to be, they say they called Daniels out at third on the fielder's choice. So Daniels will be out at third. Shirtlift out at second now with one out. McBride at first, Shirtlift at second. Jacob Fritzler up to the plate, 1 for 1 and a single. His first time up. And the kick and the pitch, that is a slow curveball, and that misses somewhere. 4-1. So 2-0 here, Fort Morgan, as we play in the bottom of the third with one out. Jacob Fritzler at the plate with one ball. Nate Cage on deck. Austin Breidenbach in the hole. They look back to second. Now the pitch. And that's going to hit Fritzler. As he is hit by the pitch. Walk down to first and walk it off a little bit. Doesn't seem to be too bothered by it, as that brings up Nate Cage. Nate Cage 0 for 1 on a ground out. So now we have the bases loaded with Mustangs as Cage comes up. So Cage so far on the year with 11 RBIs. He's got a couple in scoring position out there for him right now. So 2-0 Fort Morgan, and that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. Equitable Savings and Loan, proud to be Northeast Colorado's locally owned hometown savings and loan with locations in Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Brush. They are available 24/7 for your banking needs. Well, Sean Paul looks into Cage, and now the wind and the pitch, and that's going to be way inside. Cage had to back out of the way. So as not to get hit. So we have Trevor Shirtlift at third, Trey McBride at second, Jacob Fritzler at first for the Mustangs. Sean Paul with the wind and the kick, and that is going to be way outside. 2 balls and a strike. Is Austin Breidenbach on deck, Adrian Marquez in the hole. And the pitch, and that is going to be low, ball 3. So we'll see if Cage is on the take or if they're going to let him hit away here with 3 balls and 1 strike. And the pitch by Paul, and that is going to be fouled straight back. So he was on it just a little under it, fouled it back to the fence. This will be a good time here for the Mustangs to get a couple more on the board here. Take advantage of the situation now with the bases loaded. And the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be grounded foul and stopped down there by the head coach of the Mustangs, Josh Langford. Still 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out here. And the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be nubbed off of Cage's foot for the foul ball. Seven pitches so far at this bat for Cage. 41 total pitches, 19 balls, 22 strikes. As Sean Paul not on the rubber, fakes the throw over to first, but Jacob Fritzler nowhere away from the bag. That ball is going to be fouled out of play down the right field line. Keeping himself alive here. Sean Paul looks into Brett Paul for the sign, gets the sign. Now the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be outside, ball 4. So that will be an RBI for Cage. As that will bring home that runner from third. Trevor Shirtliff. Now we're going to have a conference out at the mound. Central Auto Parts, you need your vehicle and farm equipment to be in top shape, so make sure you take care of them by purchasing the best quality parts at great prices at your local Napa store. Central Auto Parts in Fort Morgan. So we'll see what the head coach out there for the Vista Peak Bison, what they're up to. Grant Pipert is the head coach. They're 6-4, 4-1 in league. They break up the conference out at the mound. Everybody taking their positions as Austin Breidenbach up to the plate with the bases still loaded here with one out in the bottom of the third. The Mustangs up 3-0. Adrian Marquez on deck, Grayson Garver in the hole. And the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be outside. Nice stop there by the catcher. As he prevented that from getting to the backstop. So 1 ball and no strikes to Breidenbach. So we have McBride at third, Fritzler at second, and Cage at first. And the pitch, and that is going to be also low and outside. Breidenbach went down swinging in the first plate appearance, so he is 0 for 1. As we sit with one out here in the bottom of the third. And the pitch. That is going to be in there for a strike. So 2 balls and 1 strike on Breidenbach. Excuse me. Sean Paul with the look in. Now time is going to be called by Breidenbach as he steps out for a second. Now back in as he gets set back in the batter's box. And the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be low and outside. 3 balls and 1 strike. So Breidenbach with 5 RBIs. He's got a chance for a couple more, and the pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike. So he was taken all the way. So 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. So Paul with the look in, and the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be bounced off the plate in play as it comes down to the catcher, and they're going to get the runner out, forced out at home for the second out of the inning. So a fielder's choice. So Adrian Marquez up to bat. So now the bases are still loaded. So next pitch is misses there for 2 balls now on Adrian Marquez. So Jacob Fritzler at third, Nate Cage at second, and Breidenbach stands out at first with 2 out. 3-0, and now the pitch is going to be low and in the dirt for ball 3. So we'll see if, we'll guess they're going to have Marquez take a couple of pitches here, as he hasn't been anywhere close. And that is going to be in there for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. On Adrian Marquez. Grayson Garver on deck. Kenny Keller in the hole. Marquez walked the first time. That's going to be a slice down the right field line. And that is going to be foul. Just foul. Down the right field line, as they had him shifted more over for the right-handed batter. Nice slice there by Marquez. Just couldn't quite keep it in play. So 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. So they will be on the move as soon as the pitcher pitches. He looks in now, gets the sign, and the kick and the pitch, and they're on the move, and that is going to be outside, ball 4. So Marquez with the RBI. As that brings in Jacob Fritzler. So now Cage at third, Breidenbach at second, and Marquez at first. As Garver up, he flying out his first time up. So 0 for 1. It's now 4-0 Fort Morgan. After the walk. Now the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike. Strike 1. No balls on Garver. Kenny Keller on deck. Kyle Daniels in the hole. Sean Paul with 56 pitches, 29 strikes, 27 balls, and the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be in there for strike 2. Garver had a fly out the first time up to bat. He stands in from the right side, waits for the pitch from Paul, and the wind, and the kick, and the pitch, and that is going to be slowly bounced to third. Now they're going to try to get him at first, and he is going to be, they're going to call him out at first. He looked like he was there. Looked like he was safe, but the umpire called him out. So after 3 full innings, the Mustangs now lead 4-0 on B106 and B106.com.
This is definitely the wickedest thing I've ever in my life.
The Mustangs take the field here in the top of the 4th and the bottom of the 3rd. Fort Morgan scores 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors, 3 left on base as Sean Paul threw 37 pitches in that 3rd inning. Kyle Daniels on the hill still for the Mustangs with 30 total pitches, 17 strikes, 13 balls. That was a bunt attempt down the 3rd baseline that went foul. Brandon Martinez had a walk, so no official at bats for Martinez here. Augustus on deck, and the pitch. That is going to be in there for a strike. Nice pitch there on that fastball on the outer part of the plate by Kyle Daniels. So no balls and 2 strikes in the wind and the pitch, and that hook is going to be nubbed out to the pitcher. Daniels gets it, throws it to Marquez for the out. So nice job there by Daniels playing his position. So 1 out now. J.J. Augustus at bat. Sean Paul on deck. Casey Embry in the hole. Augustus 0 for 1 on a swinging strike his first time up, and that pitch is going to be low and inside. Ball 1. Daniels now with the sign and the kick and the pitch. That also inside. Kyle Daniels does not take a lot of time between pitches. He is ready, and the pitch, that is going to be smacked down the left field line, and that will be at least a single down the, and they're going to throw it in, and he's going to get in there on the double. Not a good job out there in left field by Kenny Keller. He kind of didn't hustle over to it. So we'll give Augustus a double on that as he hustles it into second base. Now Sean Paul goes down to talk to his coach. Corf Continental, your GMC, Chevrolet, and Buick sales and service provider pre-owned supercenter is ready to serve you in Sterling, Yuma, Julesburg, and Fort Morgan. Find them at www.corfautogroup.com. So now Paul stands in from the left side. Cal Daniels looks back to second. And the pitch, and that is swung on and missed. Nice change up there by Daniels. Paul was way out in front of that. Pitch, so no balls and one strike to the pitcher, Sean Paul. And that is going to be up and over the head. But caught by McBride, but a ball. And the pitch, and that is going to be in the dirt. Nice stop, though, by McBride. So 2 balls and 1 strike now to Paul. He steps in from the left side. Daniels looks back to second now with the pitch, and that curveball is going to be topped out to the pitcher and going to be taken by Daniels as they get the out at first. So now runner at third. On the ground out. So now 1 ball and no strikes to Casey Embry. As Vista Peak threatens here to score in the top of the 4th. That pitch is going to be apparently outside. Well, they're saying 1 ball and 1 strike. Two out in the top of the 4th, and that pitch is going to be low. Look to throw back to third, but no throw. Now 2 balls and 1 strike on Embry, 0 for 1 and a ground out his first time up this afternoon. The kick and the pitch, and that is going to be a foul ball back to the screen. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 4-0 Fort Morgan in the top of 4 as Kyle Daniels on the mound working for the Mustangs this afternoon, and that is going to be a fastball out and away for ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at third, Augustus. And the pitch, that is going to be a curveball and nubbed right back to Daniels, and he fires it to first for the 3rd out. Nice job there by Daniels. So at the end of 3.5, the Fort Morgan Mustangs up 4-0 on Vista Peak on B106 and B106.com. Here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan as the Mustangs lead it 4-0 after 3.5. The Bison look to put some run on the board, but were held off. Kyle Daniels had 16 pitches in that inning on 1 hit, 1 left on base. As Kenny Keller steps in, 1 for 1 and a single. Kyle Daniels to follow Trevor Shirtliff in the hole. And that is going to hit Keller as he turns his back to it. So that'll put Keller on first, and that will bring up Kyle Daniels, 2 for 2 with 2 singles this afternoon for Kyle Daniels. As he steps in from the left side. Left-handed batter, left-handed thrower. Sean Paul was a right-handed thrower, but did that from the left side. in that last plate appearance. Daniels now in the pitch, and that is going to get to the backstop on that wild pitch. So now Shippert will come out. The coach will come out to the mound for a conference. I don't know if they're going to change anybody or what they're up to, but MMI International, and buying a mixer or feeder truck, nothing compares to the MMI design, craftsmanship, and service. Your operation deserves the best. MMI continually outperform hands down, and they aren't afraid to stand behind their product. Call them at 842-5161. So it looks like everybody's still in their same positions, just coach wanted to come out and have a little conference here. Didn't want this to get any more out of hand than what it is. It's only 4-0 here in the bottom of 4. Kenny Keller out at second. Looks back, and the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be bunted foul behind the plate. So 1 ball and 1 strike as Keller stands out at second. Being shouted out there by the shortstop, Casey Embry. Paul looks in. And the pitch. That is going to be outside. Nice stop there by the catcher, Brett Paul. As that ball was 3 or 4 feet outside, but he slid over and made the nice stop. And now the pitch. That is going to be bunted. That is going to be bunted as a foul attempt. So now 2 balls and 2 strikes as Daniels not able to get the ball in play. So we'll see if he'll be swinging away here, trying to advance that runner over to third. So 2 balls and 2 strikes in the bottom of the 4th. Look in, and the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be foul down the left field line and out of play. So that will keep Kyle Daniels alive at the plate. As Sean Paul looks in after his 64th pitch, 34 strikes, 30 balls. Gets the sign, and the pit is going to be to the first baseman, so that will advance Keller to third. So nice sacrifice there by Daniels. So now 1 out here, and that pitch is going to be hit to center field by Shirtliff, and that is going to be caught, but that will bring in Kenny Keller as he steps across the plate. So nice job there by Trevor Shirtliff. So now 5-0 Fort Morgan as we play in the bottom of 4 with 2 out. McBride with the hit down the third base line, but that is going to be foul. So 1 ball and 1 strike here on McBride. He had a fly out and a bunt, 1 for 2 for Trey McBride this afternoon. And the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be a solid single right up the middle for McBride. As that will bring up Jacob Fritzler, 1-for-1, a single and hit by a pitch. Now it looks like we're going to have a courtesy runner, and that will be Caleb Bell. It looks like we're also, I thought they were going to have a change of players here, but it looks like everybody's still in position now as Fritzler comes up with 2 outs and Caleb Bell at first. Fritzler, as I said, 1-for-1 of the single and hit by a pitch so far, and that pitch is outside for a ball. Wood Steakhouse, home of the $8.95 dinner menu during the week and the best prime rib and other great specials on Friday and Saturdays. Sean Paul looks over at first, now gets the sign. Looks in the kick, and that is going to be high and outside for a ball as they look down to first after the pitch was thrown, but no throw to first base. So 2 balls and no strikes here on Jacob Fritzler. Mustangs lead at 5-0 here in the bottom 4. That is going to be in play to the third baseman. Nice stop there and throw to the first baseman for the third out. So after 4, the Mustangs lead at 5-0 on B106 and B106.com.
You are listening to Fort Morgan Mustang Sports right here on Morgan County's B106. This is KPRB Brush, Fort Morgan.
Going into top 5 now for the Vista Peak Bison will be Arturo Valenzuela, Brett Paul on deck, Maurice Steele in the hole. Valenzuela 0-for-1 on a flyout, his first time at the plate today. Kyle Daniels still on the mound for the Mustangs with 46 total pitches. We're right at an hour here for the game. That first pitch is up and away for ball 1. Fastball was up a little bit. Now the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be apparently low and outside. Ball 2. 26 strikes, 22. That is going to be apparently just outside. 3 balls and no strikes. Kyle Daniels kind of looks in, I think, trying to find out just where he's missing at. So the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be up high for the 4-pitch walk to Arturo Valenzuela. So Brett Paul up to bat, 0-for-1 on a ground out. His first time at the plate. So we'll see if they can pick him off here. He is going to steal, and it's going to be a throw, but it will be a steal out there by Arturo Valenzuela. As McBride's throw was wide to the left and backed up by Shurtleff. So now 1 ball and no strikes to Paul as he looks to advance the runner, but that was fouled down the first base line. So 1 ball and 1 strike on Brett Paul. As Daniels looks back to second. Now the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be hit down to the third baseline to Cage. Looks the runner back, and the throw over to first to Marquez to get the runner. So nice job there by Marquez. So Valenzuela, still on at second with 1 out. Maurice Steele as they throw back to second, but Valenzuela gets back in under the throw. And Shurtleff had gone into cover. Steele walked the first time, so no official bat yet. Swing and a miss. Strike one on Steele. He was fooled by that pitch. That ball was low and inside. He swung at it. Daniels looks back at second. Now comes home, and that pitch is going to be low and outside. Ball one as Valenzuela hustles back into second. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out here in the top of the fifth. Fort Morgan up 5-0. Daniels now with the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be high and outside, ball 2. So 56 pitches for Daniels, 29 strikes, 27 balls. Sanborn on deck, Sanchez in the hole, and now the pitch. That is going to be a swing and a miss, strike 2. So he got that fastball by him that time. As Steele stands in at the plate, looks back, and now the pitch, and that is going to be strike 3 called, or swinging, excuse me, is that high fastball. I got him out there on the third strike, so now we work with 2 outs with a runner at second with Ashton Sanborn, 1 for 1 and a single. Steps in from the right side. Daniels looks back, now the pitch. That is going to be a curveball, but just a little bit low. For 1 ball and no strikes to Ashton Sanborn. Daniels now with the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be also low. Looks like they're over the plate just a little bit low, so 2 balls and no strikes with 2 outs here in the top of the fifth. As Daniels looks in, the lead out at second, and that is going to be a strike on the swing, but the ball does get away from McBride, so that will advance the runner. As Valenzuela goes to third. Now Daniels looks in, the kick and the pitch. Curveball is in there for a strike. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice curve there, ball by Daniels. As he works here in the top of the fifth with 62 pitches. And now they're going to have the steal at home. And they're going to have a strike 3 called anyway. So that would have been the third out. So nice job there by Daniels to get the strikeout. So after 4.5, the Mustangs now lead 5-0 on B106 and B106.com.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
In Fort Morgan with the Mustangs up 5-0 as we go to the bottom of the fifth. So we are set up here this afternoon for a doubleheader as Vista Peak will stay in town for 2, so they won't have the game tomorrow afternoon. They got the umpires they wanted here, and everybody could be here, so we'll get the 2 games in while they can. So that will bring Nate Cage up to bat. Grounded out his first time up and also walked his second time, so 0 for 1, and the pitch by Paul. That is going to be outside, ball 1. Circle L Irrigation offers the latest in valley irrigation technology. Just give them a call at 970-522-8816. And Sean Paul looks in, and the pitch is going to be inside. Ball 2. Circle L Irrigation is located at 335 East Chestnut in Sterling. Sean Paul with the kick and the delivery, and that is going to be hit hard down the left field, and that is going to be back. Let's see if that's out of here, and that is a home run for Nate Cage here in the bottom of the fifth. Makes it 6-0 Fort Morgan. Cage just ripped that out into left center field for the home run. Nice job there by Nate Cage as he got into all of that one, and that will be his third home run of the year. That ties him with McBride for 3 on the year. But Nate Cage got all of that as it hit a car. There's not very many cars parked out in left center field, but it found one out there. It landed right on the hood, I believe. So 6-0 here, Fort Morgan in the bottom of the 5th. We'll see if they're going to switch pitchers or what they're doing. You have a conference out at the mound. So we'll see what they're going to do for pitching. We're going to go ahead and take a short break here and then be back with the rest of the 5th inning here on B106 and B106.com. So Alberto Vasquez will come in to pitch now for the Vista Peak Bison. It looks like the pitcher, Sean Paul, is going to go out to left field, it looks like. So we'll see here when they get all straightened away here where everybody's at. As Alberto Vasquez gets his warm-up pitches in here. Bank of Colorado proudly supports local sports and academics, the family-friendly bank that believes in community first and providing customers with the best tools and service you deserve. Visit bankofcolorado.com. Bank of Colorado, the way banking should be. Member FDIC. So Vista Peak comes into this game 6-4 overall, 4-1 in Colorado 7 league play. The Mustangs come in 10-3 overall, 9-1 in Colorado 7 league play. I believe the Vista Peak, their loss was to Alameda. Fort Morgan's loss was to Elizabeth. So everybody's starting to get taking their positions once again. I believe that was the only positions. Alberto Vasquez now to pitch. Sean Paul goes into left field. As Austin Breidenbach steps up to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th. That is going to be low and away. Ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes to Breidenbach as he is 0 for 2. Fielder's choice and swinging strike 3 in the first. And that pitch is going to be in there for a strike. So 1 ball and 1 strike. On Austin Breidenbach. Vasquez with a look in. And the delivery, and that is going to be way outside. Ball 2. 2 balls and 1 strike. So we'll see on the batting order next time through for Vista Peak who's batting where. But 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch, and that is going to be outside. Or 2 balls and 1 strike, excuse me now. 3 balls and 1 strike on Breidenbach. As Alberto Vasquez comes in to pitch here in the bottom of the 5th. And the pitch, and that is going to be hit over the pitcher, and it's going to be safe on the infield hit by Breidenbach. So nice job there by Austin Breidenbach to hustle that out as it popped over the pitcher, and then the shortstop finally ran it down, but he was late getting over to first as Austin Breidenbach beat the throw. So now a runner at first, no outs here in the bottom of the 5th. Fort Morgan leading 6-0. And the pitch, and that is going to be in there for a strike. Adrian Marquez at the bat. Grayson Garver on deck. Kenny Keller in the hole. Adrian Marquez today, 2 walks, so no official at bats for Marquez today. As Breidenbach gets his lead, and he's gonna go to second and then to third as they tried to pick him off at first. On the error by the pitcher. So now Breidenbach will stand at third after that failed pickoff by the pitcher. Breidenbach had already taken off, but the ball, not a good throw, was missed by the first baseman and rolled down the right field line enough to get Breidenbach to third. So that ball is going to be hit high down the right field line, but that should be deep enough to get Breidenbach home. And he is going to slide in and take the catcher out. But nice job there by Marquez. As he has the sacrifice fly out to right field. So now 7-0 Fort Morgan. After the sacrifice fly to right field by Adrian Marquez. So Grayson Garver up at the plate, fly out and a ground out. 0 for 2 today for Garver. Kenny Keller on deck, Kyle Daniels in the hole. Alberto Vasquez with the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be in there for the strike. So no balls on 1 strike, 1 out, 7-0 Fort Morgan here in the bottom of 5. As Vasquez looks in, and that is going to be a swing and a miss on a pitch outside. As he gets little instruction there from Josh Langford down at third base. So no balls and 2 strike, 1 out. Mustangs 7-0, bottom of 5. Vasquez looks in, now the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be outside, ball 1. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Grayson Garver. As Vasquez looks in, gets the sign. Now the pitch, and that is going to be in there. Strike 3 called. As Garver watched it go by, not real happy with the pitch call, but it looked like a good pitch from here. That will bring up Kenny Keller to the plate. Single and hit by a pitch. So 1 for 1 today for Kenny Keller. Nobody on, 2 outs here in the bottom of 5. And the pitch, that's going to be hit, nubbed out to the second baseman. And will be the end of the 5th inning as the Mustangs plate 1 here in the bottom of 5. So the Mustangs lead at 7-0 on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickel back here at Legion Field in Fort Morgan. I misspoke there. The Mustangs played 2 in the bottom of the 5th. So they scored 1 in the 1st, none in the 2nd, 3 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 2 in the 5th. For the 7-0 lead, there are 7 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, and 5 left on. Vista Peak, no runs, 2 hits, 1 error, and 2 left on. So that will bring up Daniel Sanchez, 0 for 1 on a fly out here in the bottom of the top of the 6th, excuse me. 63 pitches for Daniels, 29 balls, 34 strikes. And the kick and the delivery, little upstairs for ball 1. Trinidad Benham serving area bean grower since 1921. Give them a call at 970-522-3595. And a swing and a miss on that curveball by Daniels. So 1 ball and no strikes, and the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be hit foul down the third base line. So 1 ball, 2 strikes. As Kyle Daniels wastes little time between pitches. As he's at 1 ball and 2 strikes, and that curveball swing and a miss. And they tag him out on the 3rd strike. But nice job there by Kyle Daniels on that curveball. So that will bring up Brandon Martinez, 0 for 1, a walk and a ground out. As Daniels winds and the pitch, and that is going to be upstairs, ball 1. So top of 6, 7-0. Fort Morgan, 1 ball and no strikes. And that pitch is going to be outside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes to Brandon Martinez. 0 for 1 on a walk and a ground out. And that pitch is going to be in the dirt. Ball 3. So 70 pitches for Daniels here this afternoon. And this next pitch is going to be in there for a strike. 38 strikes, 33 balls for Daniels. 3-1, and that is going to be high, ball 4. So J.J. Augustus comes up now. 1 for 2 on a double. Sean Paul on deck, Casey Embry in the hole. As we have Brandon Martinez at first base with J.J. Augustus at the plate, and going to be called a balk on Kyle Daniels. So that will send the runner to second base. So now Daniels, that ball is going to be hit to the third baseman as they look the runner back, and this long throw over, and they get the runner at first. So now that will bring up Sean Paul. As they have the ground out to third. It's now a little nubber out in front of the plate, and the pitch and the throw down to first base. So that should be the third out here, where they're having a discussion here at the plate. So no runs scored on that one. So at the end of 5.5, the Mustangs lead at something on B106 and B106.com. Brian Nickler at Legion Field in Fort Morgan with the Mustangs lead at 7-0 going into the bottom of the 6th inning. Kyle Daniels up for the 3rd time, 2 for 2, actually for the 4th time, 2 singles and a sac bunt for Daniels, and Trevor Shurtleff on deck, Trey McBride in the hole. So we'll see if they have any further lineup changes here for Vista Peak, as J.J. Augustus now in left and Sean Paul is in center. I believe that is the only switch I see right now. Alberto Vasquez still at the plate, Brett Paul behind the plate. As Kyle Daniels steps in from the left side. Awaiting the pitch, Alberto Vasquez with 12 pitches here so far. And the wind and the pitch, that is going to be in there for the strike. Papa Murphy's Pizza makes it easy to feed the whole team and make everybody happy. Call Papa Murphy's in Sterling at 522-4900. So Vasquez with the look in and the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be fouled straight back to the screen. So no balls and 2 strikes on Kyle Daniels. Yes, be back here in the bottom of the 6th. In game 1. We will have game 2 here shortly after game 1 comes to an end, and that pitch is going to be high, ball 1. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. on a changeup that stayed high. So Vasquez gets the sign, comes to the set. And now the kick and the pitch, and that is going to be right back up the middle. Nice hard single by Daniels. As it bounces away now from the first baseman as they throw it to first for some reason. So Daniels will advance to second. After that error by the center fielder. So Daniels now out at second with no outs. Trevor Shurtleff at bat, Trey McBride on deck, Jacob Fritzler in the hole. 1 for 3 this afternoon for Shurtleff. As we have one in scoring position in Kyle Daniels. And now the kick and the pitch, and it's going to be a bunt down the third baseline. Looks like a nice bunt as it dies in the grass. And he will be safe at first as Daniels advances to third. So now runners at the corners for McBride as he has one in scoring position. As Brett Paul steps out in front of the plate to give a few signals to the infield on what they're going to do defensively. So we'll see if Trevor Shurtleff takes off. They try to do a double steal with McBride at the plate. And they stay put. Oh, and McBride gets into that one, and it is going to be gone. Home run, 3-run home run for Trey McBride. 10-0 now here in the top of the 6th inning. Or the bottom of the 6th inning, excuse me. As McBride puts it out over center field on the home run. So that should bring this game to an end here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it will, as that is the 10-run rule. So Fort Morgan wins this first one 10-0 in an hour and 29 minutes on a 3-run home run by Trey McBride in the bottom of the 6th inning. We will take a 2-minute break and be back with the post-game show on B106 and B106.com. This Fort Morgan Mustangs post-game show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at www.morgancc.edu or stop by the campus for a personal advising session. MCC are here to help you imagine your possibilities, believe in yourself, and achieve your goals. So Fort Morgan wins this one 10-0 on a Trey McBride 3-run home run in the bottom of the 6th inning. To recap the scoring, Fort Morgan scores 1 in the bottom of the first, none in the second, then 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 3 in the sixth. As they go 10 runs, 12 hits, 1 error, 5 left on. Vista Peak, no runs, 2 hits, 2 errors, and 3 left on here in Game 1. Our Fort Morgan Mustang Player of the Game is brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center with 3 locations to serve you better. Sterling Brush in Fort Morgan, your headquarters for all your farm, home, and ranch supplies from plumbing to feed. So I think our player of Game 1 will be Trey McBride. He was 3 for 4 at the plate, scored 1 run, had a single and 3 RBIs. So Trey McBride will be our player of the game for Game 1. As far as pitching was concerned, Daniels went the complete game, had 74 total pitches, 40 strikes, 34 balls, gave up no runs, had 5 strikeouts, 4 base on balls. So nice job here by the Fort Morgan Mustangs. We're going to take a short break here, get some lineup changes, and get ready for Game 2 here that will probably be in maybe 15 to 20 minutes. We'll send it back to the studio for a little bit as we get set up for Game 2 here on B106 and B106.com.